Hello students, let's continue with the topic report writing and internal correspondence. In my last lecture we had seen what are special reports, informal reports and proposal. Today let's start with formal reports. Now here students, we can say formal report is an official document. Official document means what? Which contains data, research, information and other necessary details to help the decision makers to form plans and objectives to help the company. Here, depending on the topic, a formal business report could be several pages long, or it can have extensive data and information, or it can be short too. Now, with from this we can conclude that there are few types of formal reports. Like, for example, first one is research reports. Now here students, research report, it gathers and explains data. These reports are very informational you can say. After that is proposals. Now proposals may be internal to a company in addressing a business situation, or they may come from a solicited or unsolicited sales situation. Here formal proposals will include details of the proposed solution and cost. After that, third one is feasibility reports. Feasibility reports here you can say are a specific type of analytical report. When suppose you can say an entrepreneur or a business manager has a new idea, it is prudent to fully explore the idea before the making major you can say investment. So some think of this report as a precursor in developing full business plan. While a business plan may take many months to develop, a feasibility report can be developed in much less time, and it can still provide excellent direction for the decision maker. You get an idea of how to go about, what to do and when to do. After that, business plans. Now here business plans are typically informational reports about what a new or existing company plans to do over the next period of time. Now here a business plan may take on a bit more an analytical tone rather than a strictly informational tone when it is shared with the potential investors. Here in some cases the business plan may be presented with a request for funds. In those cases the writing is gently more persuasive, or if you want to show them that how you want to develop, how you want to explore yourself, then you try to please them, then the way you write, the you have to use catchy language and all. So in this way the business plans are made. After that, other complex recommendation. Here they may also come in the form of a formal report. This recommendation results from a business problem that an individual or team has been asked to solve. After that is drafting and preparing a formal report. Now how to draft a formal report? Now here first one you can say, while drafting a formal report you have to keep in mind investigating the source of information here. Here investigating the source of information is like kind of a spade work. It is to be done right at the beginning. The extent of investigation will of course depend on the length and importance of the report. Major sources of information are company files, personal observations, interviews, letters, questionnaires and library research. Now most of the relevant information is already contained in the old files of the company. Sometimes there are precedents and old findings and recommendation which can be also considerably which can also you can say be very helpful to you. So it is very important to go through the old files of the company. Now here, like for example, declining sales or rising cost of the production are a recurring phenomena, and there are causes are also usually similar. In these cases, old files may be containing some valuable information which can be very helpful to you. Now, if another example I am giving you is of the suppose in reports of a fire accident or on the progress of a project, personal observation will be of great help. Now, suppose fire accident, you have to give a report on that. Until and unless you have a personal observation, you won't get an idea how to write the report. It needs on the spot inquiry to ascertain the cause of a fire or to find out why the work of installing a new plant is going on rather slowly and all. So for that, all this reason, personal observation is very important here. Now from other example, like if you're getting complaints from the customers about unsatisfactory service being provided by the branch, so it might necessitate or it is very essential for you in that case to take interviews. Interviews with the member of the staff may also be of some help. These interviews should be carefully recorded, clearly indicating the interviewed, that who the person is, the time, the place of the interview. Sometimes instead of personal interview, letters may be written to different people. When a large number of people are to be contacted, then only practical method is to make is a questionnaire and ask those people to answer it. So many large business offices, they have a questionnaire system where they want to know what is the feedback of the customers about themselves. So here you have to keep in mind that questions should be prepared in such a way that they do not call for writing lengthy answers. Question that just requires ticking the correct alternative is very you can say preferable in questionnaire form. It results the questionnaire and it is incorporated in the report. It means you will get a quick answer. You don't have to go through the lengthy answers and all. So first one, while making a formal report, you have to do investigation, and you have to keep in mind while doing investigation, you have to see the purpose. If it is first hand purpose, when suppose any calamity is there or any other thing is there, so you have to presently go there and find out it. You have to do a survey and you have to investigate and find out the reason behind it. And in other cases where the large more people are involved, then you can have questionnaire system and all to investigate. The next thing is taking notes. Now in the course of investigation, the writer keeps on taking notes of anything that appears to be related to it. Whenever the person finds that this is related to my investigation, the person will note it down. So there is no time to analyze these notes and determine how they will help the final report. But as the writer keeps turning them over in his mind, a kind of pattern start emerging and he begins to clear about what is relevant and what is irrelevant. So for this thing, here when once the person starts taking notes, he has to go through those notes and he has to try to analyze and try to find the connection in that, then properly arrange it. See here, analyzing the data. Here you can say analyzing the data and interpretation of the data, that is one and the same thing. After the data means after you have collected all the notes, you have to classify the collected data in the line of the pattern, means how you are going to prepare the report. A lot of data will have to be rejected, or the person will not find it more interesting, or he will not know what is the main objective here. He will get confused while reading. So here the writer should never hurry through the stage, since it is most important stage here. You have to analyze it very properly and arrange it very properly and then present it. See, after that comes organizing the material for the presentation of the data. Here the material which is collected should be arranged in a systematic manner. So this will help the writer to prepare the report properly. Means in sequence, whatever information after investigation, whatever information you have gathered, you have to arrange in order here. Means what was the complaint, how did you find out, to whom you have spoken and all regarding that, how you have investigated the matter here, what are your findings, what you want to say about the complaint here, whether it is true or whether it is false and all, everything. And lastly will come your recommendation. After that is writing the report. Once you organize the material properly, then you have to organize the report. Now here, while writing the after organizing the report, you have to write the report here. Now writing and submission of the report is to the higher authority. Here you can say you have to be very careful about the notes, about the outline. So for the first thing, what you have to do, you have to prepare a rough draft of the report. Then you have to revise it, and then whatever shortcomings, what are the loopholes in that, you have to polish it and you have to make it proper one which can be presentable to the higher authority. This is writing the report here. Then after that comes the conclusion and recommendation part. After that, after conclusion and recommendation, now as I told you, writing, once you start writing the report, you try to find out the loopholes in that, you polish those loopholes, you make your report presentable here. After that, the step, last step is conclusion recommendation. But before this step, you have to keep certain things in mind. This is, you have in your, while writing the report, you have to define a problem here. Now, if the report is informational, the report writer will simply present the information in the form of facts. You have to present it in the form of fact. In case of sales report, for example, he will gather sales figure for the year, submit it through the management and all. In case of analytical report, the assignment is likely to involve solution to the problem. The problem statement must be therefore clearly defined here. The problem may be negative or positive. Here negative means what? You decline the sales, and positive means what? Addition of a product to the existing product line. So the problem must be general. The report writer and the reader must consider the situation of the problem here. Means why are you writing the report? First thing, while writing the report, you have to keep in mind why are you writing. Whether it is, you can say analytical report, whether it is regarding, whether you can say it is informational report, or whether it is, you can say problem statement here, where you have to give a solution to the problem. Accordingly, you have to write the report here. Now, here you have to limit the scope of study. Means giving a vast variety of information that can be contained in a report. The report writer should limit the scope of his study. Means here he should see to it that whatever he has collected, he cannot just write everything in the report here. Whatever is suitable for the report here, which the reader might find it interesting, which he can find reasonable here. Like for example here, asking the questions to the person who authorized him to write the report. Like simple questions like, what is the problem? When did it start? Where did it start? Who was involved in the situation? So when you ask a direct question to the problem, you will get the answer also direct here. After that, you have to keep in mind problem factoring. Means you have to break the problem into series of questions, identify the cause and effect of the problem here. Like if the sales are declining, the possible cause can be low advertisement, poor salesmanship, low quality. So each of these alternative must be tested, that where we are going wrong, then only you can get the solution here. Then the next one you can say is making an outline. Now once the final pattern of the report has taken, you have come to an objective. Why are you writing the report here? You have to keep in mind that the person should be prepared with an outline to write the report. In this outline, the problem is stated, the facts are recorded, they are briefly analyzed, and logical conclusion is given there. An outline is not essential, but it can be found extremely helpful in writing systematic report. It goes in a series here, children. You found out the problem. You have recorded the facts here, that because of why the problem has taken place. Then you have briefly analyzed those facts, that whether they are true or not. Then you have given a logical conclusion here. Sorry. After that, develop the statement of purpose. Now once the problem is determined, the statement of purpose is developed, you can say. It is the statement that defines the objective of the report. It defines why the report is being prepared. In the above example, if the problem of declining sales is low publicity, then the statement of purpose becomes to improve the publicity of our products in national and international market. More specific the statement of purpose, more useful will be in the writing the report here. Means here you are just stating. Now suppose as I told you just now, declining the sale, why there is a decline in the sales of the product? It can be of many reasons. It can be low advertisement, it can be poor salesmanship, it can be low quality. anything. Now here if it is because of low publicity, then you have to write the statement of purpose according to that only, that you have to improve the publicity in national and international market. So the statement of purpose should be very direct here. It should be understood by the reader. Third one, prepare the work plan. Now in this, while preparing the work plan, once the problem and the purpose of the report is determined, the report writer is ready to work out his plan to write the report. The work plan identifies the task that will be performed in the report. Now here you have to keep in mind certain things like statement of the problem. It specifies the problem on which the report is written. So you have to state the problem first. Then statement of the purpose and scope of investigation. Here you will describe the objective of the report, boundaries of work, issues that will be covered here, those that not will be covered. You should be very clearly mentioned here. Third one, discuss a sequence of tasks that to be accomplished. Here you have to indicate the source of information, research to be undertaken, restrictions on research and other investigations for carrying out scheduled tasks. After that is description of the end products that will result from investigation. Here in most of the cases the end result of the report is the report itself. However, in some cases it may be preparation of a new plan or improvement in existing business process. Whatever it may be, it must be clearly stated in the work plan, that you have to keep in mind. After that is review of the project assignment, schedules and resource requirement. Now here you can say it indicates who will be responsible for what, when the tasks are likely to be completed and how much will be the investigation cost, that you have to tell here. And last one is what? Plans for following up and after the report is delivered. Now here follow-up is done to ensure that the report has served its purpose. Whatever is the reason that the purpose why the report was written, whether it has been accomplished, the task has been accomplished or not, that is known as what? Following up plans. So here it can improve future reports. It develops good relationship between the report writer and its reader, that you have to keep in mind. And after that, last one which I told you is conclusion and recommendations after that. So here conclusion and recommendation here means once the work plan is ready, necessary data and information are collected, analyzed, interpreted, conclusions are drawn and recommendations are developed. Now conclusion must fulfill the original statement of purpose. It must be based on information included in the report. After concluding, the report writer should recommend the action here. Conclusion is an opinion of facts. Recommendation, suggestion, what should be done about those facts. It must be practical and acceptable. Like in my last lecture, I had given you one example that if you're shifting the branch to some other place because the inadequate space and all, so you have to give a logical reason for that. That the business is expanding. There is when the at the peak hour of the business, what happens? It becomes very crowded. So it can you can say harm the future business of the bank, and so for that reason it is very essential for the bank to shift the branch to some other spacious place. Then you have to give the findings also where you have got the place. Suppose it is next to the building only, then it becomes convenient for the customer. They don't have to go to the new place and all, because nearby their customers are a lot of there. You can say it is industrial sector and also properly you have to give reasoning here. Then you have to give conclusion also, that why the place which you have suggested is suitable one. First thing you can say it is next to the bank, so customer will find it very convenient to go and do the transactions there. The other thing you can say it is very spacious here. Then we don't have to do lot of transportation while changing the place from one to another, and the rent is also, even if it is much, so you can say it is very good, because it is okay, because here this is an industrial sector, so there is more probability that you will get more customers. So properly you have to conclude your report by stating the facts. The reader must understand the workout of the recommendation and what steps he has to take further. After that, we are going to see is structure and content of the report. Means in your report, what should be the actual format. Now, here you can see, student, there is no single format for all the reports. The use of widely spaced paragraphs, varied margins, separated headings, different types, sizes and colors all make it possible to emphasize the major points and to clarify the sequence and relationship of idea. So here you have to keep in mind the report must use a format that best suits the topic here. The format given here, which I am showing you just now, you can say is a standard format. Here each and every you can say report should have all these particular contents in that. Now we'll see all these contents one by one. First one is title page. Now the title page is very essential because it indicates the subject of the report, the name of the organization, the name of the organization submitting it with the date. If the report is internal, listed on the title page as the department name should be should be there in the report. Sorry, here. After that, table of contents. Now the next page of your report should be a table of contents in the sequence of topic with the page number. That is very important. If the report contains numerous charts, graphs and figures, you have to include a separate list of them immediately following the table of contents. Understood? After that comes third page is your introduction. This introduction serves to introduce the research project. It gives the background and the importance of the problem and whether they in the previous research which is present in the specific project that has been done or not. It gives you an idea why the report is written. After that, executive overview. Now you can say this is a summary and important section of research report. Many executives read only this summary while others use it as an overview and later read the report in more detail later on. So a good summary is the you can say very essential part of a research project, highlighting the major research findings and conclusion here. After that is methodology. Now the purpose of this section is to describe the nature of the research design like exploratory, conclusive, sampling plan like probability, non-probability, data source, primary or secondary, data collection method like communication, observation, how you have collected the data, data analysis, what is the procedure, detail must be conveyed to the reader so that he can appreciate the methodology which you have used here. Then technical jargon must be avoided here. You should not use technical language, you should use simple language here. Technical detail must be minimized here and you should give the things in more, you can say, detailed term. In a very simple language, you have to present the thing in detail here. After that, you can say next one is your findings. Here this section makes up the bulk of the report. Now means it is not an assortment of statistical tables and charts in an organized narrative. Your summary tables, graphic methods of presentation should be used very liberally. Highly detailed tables should be relegated to the appendix. You should first see that whether whatever charts, data which you are providing, the reader should understand it more nicely. After that is limitations. Now every research project has weaknesses which should be mentioned in clear and concise manner. The limitation in marketing research project generally involves sampling. A competent researcher does not attempt to gloss over these points but calls them to the attention of the reader. So this helps the reader to form an accurate interpretation. He comes to know what is the limitation, how they are supposed to do it. After that is conclusion and recommendations. Now here conclusion and recommendation should be direct with reference to the objective of the study here. While when you are drawing the conclusion here, you should keep in mind the objective and accordingly write the conclusion for that, so that the reader acknowledges it. It is very necessary to draw conclusion, and it is not always advisable to make recommendation. Even if you draw the conclusion, it is good. If the recommendation is required, you have a proper this thing suggestion for that particular problem solving, then you can write recommendation in your report. After that is appendix. Now in this appendix, here the main purpose, you can say, it is written in a report to provide a place for those reports which do not fit in the research because they are too detailed or sophisticated one. Now usually an appendix contains data collection form, detail of sampling, plan estimates of statistical errors, interviewer instruction, detailed statistical tables and all. And after that, you can say the last one is presentation of the data. Means what? Where you present here. Last one is what? You have to present your data to the person. It can be in tabular form or the graphic form here. Anything, whichever form you find it is suitable for your report, accordingly you have to present the report in the tables, graph, or you can say you have to keep in mind the title in the table and graph also. The title is written, index is there, footnotes are there, box heads are there. All these things are very important when you are if you are preparing the report with the help of table and chart also. Now see here, I'll show you one example of formal report. See here, given below are specimen report, formal report, instructional. The human resource manager requested this report to examine the high turnover rate of employees at GHS Corporation. The information in this report was gathered by members of Human Resource Department over 3 months. 5-member team analyzed the administration records and working condition as well as interviewed the staff. In this report, recommendations are made to minimize high turnover rate among the staff working at GHS Corporation. Now see, first you have to give a background here, like why the reports are written. Like GHS Corporation has been operating for 10 years. It employs 200 people, with most of the employees tasked with processing fees for insurance clients. Despite operating in a region with substantial unemployment, the annual turnover has between 60 to 65% every year. Finding. The most significant issue found by the HR team when interviewing staff was the lack of support to new mothers to require child care services to be able to come to work. So employees mentioned their frustration at not having an in-house child care system that could help them continue working here. Another issue mentioned by the staff was lack of communication between employees and upper management. They expressed their concern about receiving inconsistent and late instructions. They shared how they didn't know the main business objective, which led them to lose interest in the company and their jobs. See, what did the person find here? What is the main? That the new mothers, they don't have someone to take care of their child. So this is the main reason, and the other also reason is that there was lack of you can say there was a communication gap between the staff and the upper management. Main issues: lack of support to new mothers in regards to their child care, and lack of communication between staff and upper management. See how properly the report is designed. Background is given, what you have found out. For that findings you have given conclusion. Then what you recommend here? To address these two main issues, we recommend the following. An in-house child care center should be established at minimal cost in the company itself, encouraging the mothers to return to work. And then after that, each department should choose an employee ambassador to represent the interests of the staff in the management. Whatever they want to say, then the ambassador will convey it to the higher authorities. Understood how you should write a formal report? It is very easy. You have to give a background of the report, you have to give the findings of the report and conclusion, and after that recommendations. See, one more they have given. a report of investigation into pilferage in the stores department, suggesting suitable remedial measures. Subject: report on the charges of pilferage against Mr. K. A. Sable, the store's in charge. In accordance with your letter number and dated assigning me the task of investigating the charges of pilferage against Mr. K. A. Sable, the store's in charge, I have carefully gone in the matter and submit my report as under. See how formally the person has written salutation, subject of the report, and he is giving the you can say evidence also that he is being given the task of finding out or doing the investigation here. The letter number when he has received the day you can say letter from the higher authorities for this findings and report, that also he has mentioned here. Charges are true. See, he has found out. My investigation has convinced me beyond an iota of doubt that the charges against Mr. Sable are quite true. Two surprise checks in the stores, a careful cross-checking of various purchase and stock documents, and probing interviews with at least dozen of employees representing almost all departments have irrefutably confirmed the charge simple modus operandi. Mr. Sable has a very simple method of pilfering expensive office stationery. He has to issue usual consumable like writing pads, file covers and correcting fluid bottles, gum bottles, stapler pins, clips, highlighters, Xerox papers, ball pen, etc. On the basis of the indents presented to him by the staff, Mr. Sable make entries in a register, gets them signed by the concerned member and issue the items. Later he tampers with this record and misappropriates sometimes. Some of these items like Xerox paper, highlighter and eraser, imported variety are quite expensive. Mr. Sable has a nexus with the suppliers and these items are sold back to them. Recommendations now. In the view of the fact that Mr. Sable is an old employee of the company, I suggest the following remedies. Mr. Sable should be transferred from this sensitive seat after giving strict warning. Sub-supplier should be changed. A circular may be issued to the employees that they should fill in all the details of the items being issued to them in an issue register in their own hand. There should be frequent surprise check to the stores. And I am sure all these simple steps will enable us to check the pilferage and complimentary clause you have to write. So in this way you have to properly mention the report, you have to give the evidence when you were given the task of doing or finding to investigate the particular matter. Then what was the complaint, what are the charges against the person whom you are doing the you can say findings and all, and then whether it is true or not, and lastly you have to give your recommendation and close the report. So here students, today we had done many subtopics, like first we had seen what are formal reports, how to draft a formal report. Then we have in the formal, while drafting the formal report, when we are writing the report, here we had seen while writing the report here what things we have to keep in mind. First thing here, like we have to define the problem, you have to make the proper study here, give an outline, you have to develop a statement of purpose here, you have to prepare a work plan, and lastly comes your conclusion and recommendations part. Then in detail we have studied what is the format of a formal report, and I have also shown you the two specimens of formal report. Go through the video lecture again and try to understand it more nicely. Thank you.